Back in 2009, I bought my first Kombi, and later that year, I set up a dedicated Volkswagen club. It's called Brazilian VW Bay. And running the club, I've met so many lovely people who are enthusiastic about their Brazilian T2s. And of course, I've got to know an enormous number of the camper vans. And this is one example. This bus is called Morrison, Mozzie for short. Used to belong to a couple of friends of mine in the VW club, and now he's up for sale. In fantastic condition. It's got the T2 Danbury Rio conversion in there with some very nice features like tan leather interior. It also has the direct drive pad steering system. So let's take Mozzie out for a drive. You may recall I mentioned before that the T2 Kombi came out of the Brazilian VW factory with a steering box mechanism for its steering, which is what VWs had used for years previously. I mean, it started with the Beetle back in the late 1930s. And you get this character for what we call base sway sensation while you're driving, which is perfectly fine. Get used to it, it's not an issue. But there must have been a point where Danbury motor caravans were asked by people who were looking to buy new campers, is there any way you can make the steering feel more modern? So they came up with this direct drive system. Essentially what they do is they remove the entire steering box mechanism and replace it with a rack and pinion one with an electric motor. And Morrison, the camper that I'm driving right now, is fitted with that system, and it's one of the later versions because it actually has a variation that you can adjust, so you can make the pad steering heavier or lighter depending on how you like to have your bus feel while you're driving. And it does a good job. It was a very expensive option when the thing was new. It was £4,000, and it is kind of a case of you get what you pay for. So driving this bus, it does feel more modern. That's the way to describe it. You lose the base sway, and even though that is perfectly fine to drive with on a daily basis, my personal Kombi just has a steering box that don't have pad steering. But this, I suppose, in essence, you add pad steering into a Kombi, whether that be the light steer system or whether it be this direct drive, it just makes the van that much more practical for a daily drive. And in all honesty, when people are spending the kind of money that they are on buying a camper van like this, they are probably looking to have a Kombi as a second vehicle, maybe as even the main family vehicle, who knows? Lucky if they are. What a great character vehicle to have as your family fun bus. One of the advantages of the 1.4 engine that's fitted in this Kombi and in all of the water-cooled Kombis that we sell is the power that it has, giving it the much better ability to climb hills than the air-cooled variants. And also just the ambience in the cabin. It is much quieter, ULEZ compliant of course, and as I've mentioned before, depending on how heavy footed you are, the fuel economy is considerably improved. Right, let's just give you a demo of this Danbury direct drive pad steering. I'm in a wide area where there's plenty of space, and I'm just going to show you how easily this bus goes around. Because essentially you're sitting on top of the wheels. Turning on a sixpence will possibly be a bit of an exaggeration, but it is extremely manoeuvrable, as are all Kombis actually. But with this direct drive pad steering, it really does make it very straightforward. There we go.